long time no see. Hello, I'm Shazi. Thanks for joining me today. Because if you're here, something definitely aligned. And let me tell you something, I'm thrilled. I'm freaking thrilled to have you here. Sir, I don't know who you're trying to impress. I don't know what you're trying to compensate. But I'm gonna need you to not. My allergies have been so bad. So bad. Why did I sound like I was gonna cry right there? Jeez. I don't know if many of you like to watch TikTok, but I thoroughly enjoy TikTok. Perhaps it's my millennial depressive mind needing distraction. Or perhaps because maybe it's the only thing that I have left of Vine. Either way, let's do this. So I learned this on TikTok. It's wonderful psychologist Arthur Aaron or Aaron. I don't know which one it is, I'm sorry. So it's helped boost intimacy between thousands of strangers, resulting in friendship, romance, and even marriage. My intention with this is to answer these questions myself in order to perhaps fall in love with myself. Non-sexually, actually full sexually. I'm trying to seduce myself. And the only way that I can do that, apparently, according to psychologist Arthur Aaron, or Aaron, I gotta answer these questions. So I'm using this essentially as a testimonial to get to know myself more. Now with that being said, I don't necessarily know if anyone has read the 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements? Let me do a little, wonderful. What I would consider it as is 4 rules to live your life by in order to be the best version of yourself. These are essentially oracle cards for those of you that know what oracle cards are, and it's to provide day-to-day wisdom, something to just be mindful of for those of you that like to practice mindfulness. I'm going to pull 3 so then I can share it with you. And if anything else comes to my mind, I'll just pop it out. Okay, these are some good ones. So 3 things that I'm being told to share to be mindful of are, this is the first one, take action on your ideas. And then up at the top is, ew, I don't even want to show it. And then, so then up at the top is the specific rule or agreement that they suggest for you to follow, which is always do your best. So the message of this card is doing your best means to take action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestations, no results, and no reward. For those of you that have plenty of creative endeavors that want to just creep up in your mind, but you allow your limiting beliefs or that other voice that is notorious, that likes to notoriously come up and make you feel like you're not enough, this is the message that you are enough. Right here. This is the sign that you got something brewing. You got something brewing in your soul and in your mind that wants to come to fruition. Don't repress that shit. Don't repress it. You deserve so much. This is just the first one, all right? We're gonna have a little rapport before we go balls to the walls with this. The 36 questions to make me fall in love with myself. So the second card that we want to be mindful of is enjoy heaven on earth and be impeccable with your word. I adore the art on here. So the message that this is stating is impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. Simply put, by what that means, say what you mean and mean what you say. To the individuals that have a racing mind, it's essentially just being in the present and meaning what you say. We allow life and our own thoughts to get ahead of us to such an extent sometimes that we end up oversharing. I'm not the only person that has had this thought. I'm having a conversation with somebody. It's going great. And then I'll just be like, yeah, so I think about death a lot. Like what happens when you die and the fact that the world just keeps turning and turning and that, you know, human life as a whole doesn't really mean anything. That's nice. Girl, don't talk about your existentialism. Don't project that onto other people, bro. Like, things that you might have potentially gone into such an intense introspective mode and have completely ripped apart every little part of your life, that does not mean that other people are ready for that, my friend. Just chill out. Mean what you say and say what you mean. All right, the third one. I have pulled this card a lot, and I think that this card is one of the most important cards as a reminding factor, and this is what it is. So the agreement is don't take anything personally. And what this is, the message behind this, is to refuse to eat emotional poison. I'm gonna say it again. Refuse to eat emotional poison. I'm gonna read to you the message. Taking things personally makes you prey for predators. They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat poison. This is the same concept as having a reaction, right? This is the same concept as if somebody were to say something knowing very well that it would hit you to your core, and you get to a point where you have a reaction and get into a defensive mode, to look at them and be like, ooh, I'm a fuck you. Ooh, like, we all have different methods of reacting. Some people shut down, some people get defensive, some people just immediately want to fight. You know what I mean? We all have our own reactions for different things. So this is the card deck that I really gravitated towards today to, you know, have a conversation, to plant those little seeds, to put some things into perspective. No pressure. So, I'm gonna ask myself these 36 questions. Perhaps it's to get to know myself better. Perhaps it's to make me fall in love with myself. Cue sexy music here. You hear that? God, that's the good stuff. So first question, given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest? So I have 3 that I would give my hypothetical left nut to be able to have dinner with. So what all 3 of them have in common is the fact that Frank Ocean, Donald Glover, and Seth Rogen are the individuals who I would love to hear their perspective. That's simply it. Like, I don't think I'd like shit myself if I saw them, but I'd be like, oh yay, different perspective time. That's all I want in life is to listen to stories, is to listen to the stories of how individuals view the world. Cool, I'm already like falling in love with myself so hard, dude. Would you like to be famous? In what way? If fame even existed in that sense, I would want that fame to be because I was a kind person. In an initial sense, I'm viewing the perspective of fame to be like, oh my God, you're that famous Hollywood actor, like, which, let's be honest, I don't really trust Hollywood. But I would say fuck no. Then the way that I view fame, which could potentially change, it's only the perspective that I carry currently. The perspective that I carry currently of fame, I would say no to. I'm sure that will change as I grow. The beauty of life is that you can have a specific perspective about something and then someone else can provide their perspective about the same thing, but in a different way. Perspectives are good to help you be a well-rounded person. The way that I play out my life isn't to be in this big ass mansion in the middle of LA. I don't see myself as that. I see myself as having land and having a bunch of animals everywhere and having like going and adopting all of like the old retired dogs so they can live out the last years of their life in pure utter peace, not in a fucking cage, because I have the land for it. You know what I mean? I have barn kittens everywhere and I got goats, dude. I got goats and chickens. That's what I want. And I want to be completely self-sufficient. That's how I view perhaps fame in that way. I just had a fat f***ing rant. We're moving on. I said what I said and I meant what I said. I'm impeccable with my word, bitch. All right, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say? Why? Yes, anxiety. Anxiety. Yo, when you were younger, did you ever watch Activia commercials and be like, damn, Jamie Lee Curtis knows what she's saying and doing, and I trust her with my life for some reason. Like, to the point where you started buying Activia thinking like, I'm about to have the freshest BMs, bro. Probiotics all up in my gut, feeding the right microbiome. Thank you, yes please. Oh, so when I said anxiety, it made me think of Activia. But yeah, question 3 answered. Concise, chef's kiss. Next question. What would constitute a perfect day for you? No anxiety. So what would constitute a perfect day for me? I would say mid to high 70s weather in a dry climate with a light breeze, which was today. As much as I've been diligently working on transmuting my anxiety, it's been coming back up, and rather than repressing it or meeting it with self-limiting beliefs or just, allowing that negative voice in my head to take over that I'm not good enough, I'm starting to meet that anxiety with love. And I've noticed that rather than feeding the seed of the anxiety, I'm feeding the seed of just taking a goddamn breath. But yeah, I would say that today was a pretty f***ing great day. Perfect? I don't think that anything's perfect. But the beauty of perfection is what isn't perfect. For me, it's our imperfections that make us perfect. What would constitute a perfect day for you? Mid to high 70s weather with a light breeze. A very odd way of constituting a perfect day, but we all got different perspectives. When did you last sing to yourself? Dude, I sing to myself every single day. I talk to myself every single day. That's how we're able to process. Do you know what I mean? I don't know about you, but sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, who the hell is that? And that's on dissociation, baby. But I still look at myself and I give myself that recognition and that validation that I need. I'm a f***ing person. I'm a human being that needs validation. That validation does not come from an external source. That validation purely comes from inside. In here, queen, in here. That's where that validation comes from. How did we get to when did I last sing to myself to validation? But that's on ADHD, baby. But yeah, I sang to myself today. You know what I mean? I gotta look at myself in the mirror and be like, shut it, get down, C-H-I-N-G to the Y. Let me explain it to y'all. Oh, baller, say what? High roller, baby, baby, baby. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta have my moments where I'm just like, yee, doing my pretend, like trying to do the moonwalk, bruh. I'm trying to do the moonwalk for like 6 months now. I'm gonna wake up one day and that moonwalk is gonna click. And I'm gonna wipe the floor with all of you. I don't even give a shit, dude. Question 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90, God, I hope not. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? Hold on, I gotta read that again. Okay, so this question is asking, would you want your 30-year-old mind or your 30-year-old body? Bitch, body, body, body. Do you know how fucking wise I'm gonna be in my 90s, bro? God, I'd be unstoppable. I'd want the body of a 30-year-old with the mind of a 90-year-old just so I could show off these cakes one more time, you know what I'm saying? My yams. I said what I said. Question 7, baby. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? When I was younger, I always thought that I was going to die young, like around this time, but I thought I was going to die when I was 24. I didn't really think I was gonna get to this point age-wise. Yeah, so weirdly enough, because I thought I was going to die younger, I went through a lot of the process of accepting my death at a very young age. That sounds morbid when I think about it, but how I feel about it now, the fact that I'm alive right now, first of all, it's crazy. I'm grateful, but it's crazy. Now I have a feeling like I'm gonna die old. It's what the gut says. I used to not trust my intuition for a very long time, and let me tell you something, it got me in some deep doo-doo, mister. So if the gut's saying, you're gonna be old as hell, girl, you're gonna have arthritis, then we're gonna listen. Question 7 answered. Question 8, name 3 things you and your partner have in common. He is 100%, he is the funniest dude I know. Fully, wholeheartedly, one of the funniest people I've ever met. And I don't know about you, but maybe it's, not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm not too bad on the comedy scale, baby. Okay, so that was the first thing, humor. Second, I would say that we're incredibly caring. We have a nurturing disposition. Humor, nurturing disposition, and the third thing, fat, juicy cakes, baby. We just got some fat, juicy cheek clappers. That's what we got. Okay, all joking aside, the third thing that we have in common is we are both creative. He's an incredibly talented musician, and I like art. I like to create on a general scale. Question 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? I feel like I'm most grateful of what I went through in my life to get to the point of where I am today, and the growth that I've experienced in the process, and the growth that I will continue to experience. Very well put, Shaz. Thank you, Shaz. Question 10. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? When I check in with myself in the present moment and ask myself if I'm content with the person that I am today, if I'm happy with the individual that I am today, even with everything that I've gone through. Like, yes, I've done some stupid shit. Yes, I've said some stupid shit. I could spend the rest of my life punishing for something that I have grown out of. If I continue to punish myself for that, then I'm not allowing myself to let it go and to just be the best version of myself. But if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? I wouldn't change anything because I'm happy with the person that I am today. I used to have a lot of resentment in my heart. The past me does not exist anymore. The only thing that I can control is present me. Moving on. Question 11. Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. Sorry, can't disclose that. Only to my partner. And that's private. All right, we're moving on. Question 12. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? Roller skating. Roller skating! I want to learn how to roller skate, and I will. It's gonna take practice, and I'm gonna fall on my patoot, but I'll learn it. Next! If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? Honestly, if there's gonna be The Office rerun, that's what I would want to know. Yeah, that's what I would want to know. I know it sounds super profound, and people want to be like, oh, I want to know the deepest, darkest secrets, or like what's gonna happen when I'm older, or if I'm going to be successful, or what have you. But like, I don't know, dude. I'm actually pretty chill in the unknown, because that's what makes life exciting. Like, why would I want to know what happens? Because then I'm gonna obsess about every little thing that I do to have it either be feeding the outcome or shying away from the outcome. I don't need that type of pressure in my life, bro. I'd rather just be like, all right, let's follow the gut. Let's follow the intuition. Intuition knows. That's what I want. Is there gonna be an Office reboot? Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time, and why haven't you done it? I want to see the Northern Lights. That's what I want. And why haven't I done it? Because it's not time yet. You know, I'm aware of when it's time to do it and when it's not time to do it. And right now it's not the time. So I'm not going to question it, but it is going to happen. All right, we're on question 15. We are, is it 36? We're almost halfway there, baby. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? I'd have to say working through my trauma and journaling regularly to check in with myself to see how I'm doing. For my own personal reasons, I would say that that's a great accomplishment. Next. What do you value most in a friendship? Authenticity. Be yourself authentically and wholeheartedly. I value honesty, I value humor, I value looking at the lighter side of life. Question 17. What is your most treasured memory? I would say that this is my most treasured memory because it makes me laugh so hard anytime I think about it. So we were obsessed with McDonald's when we were living in Germany. Our first meal in the US was McDonald's. We loved the McChickens from Germany. We loved them so much. I would say it was an unhealthy addiction to McChickens. And I was completely jet lagged. My mom orders me a McChicken from the drive-thru. And she's just like, here you go, Shaz, your first American McChicken from McDonald's. Bro, I bit into this thing and I started crying. That's how bad it was. Oh my God, I was like, we need to go back to Germany. This is terrible. It's such a random memory, but it's the best. It's, next. Question 18. What is your most terrible memory? I would say that my most terrible memory was having to sell everything that we owned in order to move from Germany to the US. That sucked, dude. I've healed from this, so that's why I'm comfortable speaking about it. When you have to sell everything that you own, the foundation of your own stability becomes completely uprooted as a small child. I just remember having to sell all of our video games. Dude, and we had the craziest collection of video games. It was insane. And then having to sell all of that. It's like, you know, it's like a part of your heart is just being like torn apart and you're like, my childhood. I'm able to, as a third-party viewer, to observe what had happened that did affect me in the way that it affected me, if that makes sense. But yeah, dude, selling my shit and having to move here. Like, it was just as necessary as it was to get to where I am today, it was still something that affected me, which makes me human. Question 19. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living, and why? No. I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be, and that's all I need. And I'm going to continue to take it day by day. I wouldn't change a thing. Question 20. What does friendship mean to you? Friendship means transparency to me. Friendship means support and love. Love is not reserved for just your family. I mean, if you even have that type of a relationship with your family, which if you don't, that's completely valid. I went on a rant for like, I mean, this entire video is a rant, let's be honest. Question 21. What roles do love and affection play in your life? I think they're incredibly important. My general disposition is loving. If I give you shit, that means I love you, bro. My love is, I'm gonna give you shit and then I'm going to support you so hard and then tell you that I love you all the damn time and feed you. But I also do that for myself. If I'm feeding somebody, I'm feeding myself as well. So like I give myself food and I'm like, yo, you want some food? Like, they're benefiting from how much I love myself. Huh? Hell yeah. So question 22 is another partner one. Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. I mean, okay, so I've already talked about the three characteristics that my partner and I have in common, but if we're gonna talk about 5 positive characteristics that he has, I mean, he's not here. I miss him. I would say 5 positive characteristics that he has is he's hilarious, he's loving, he's selfless. He has a good head on his shoulders, man. Usually I'm the one that's the calm one when it comes to mending anxieties. I want to put this in a general term when it comes to mending anxieties, and if it ever gets to a point where I start feeling like I have anxiety, he's genuinely there for me. And that's the 5th one. He's genuine. He's an incredibly genuine person. All right, question 23. How close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? I had struggles. I had struggles that had to do with my own health issues. I had struggles that had to do with me having resentment for myself. I had struggles that had to do with me being in a victim complex. And that started at a very young age. So with that being said, I'm happy with the person that I am now. But I had to undergo that deep depressive state in order to get to the point of where I am today, to recognize the growth that I went through. You can't have happiness without experiencing the pure and utter pile of shit that depression is. Putting it frank. All right, question 24. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother? My mom's my best friend. I love her more than I think she'll ever really be able to understand. She's one of the strongest people I know. I think she's the strongest person that I know. And I look up to her. She's a great baker. She's a great cook. She's so creative. Oh my God. The creativity that my mother has. She writes these beautiful stories. Beautiful. Her mind is a fertile ground of creativity. She's a dime, dude. It's as simple as that. Question 25. Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling. So 3 true we statements that we are going to make together. We are opening up on the internet, and that's a little scary, but it's necessary. It's necessary to share stories. We are feeling a little gassy right now. Not gonna lie. Something's a brewing down there. We peed in a bush today. You and I. If you're watching this and you peed in a bush today, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 to you. Because we did that. We see each other. All right. Next. Complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share. I wish I had someone with whom I could share a sundae. I just like my sweets. I got a sweet tooth. Question 27. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, please share what would be important for him or her to know. My partner is my best friend. So the way that I live my life, like I said, friendship is transparency. We're bringing some old stuff back. Friendship is transparency. My partner is my best friend. Hence, I keep it completely real and transparent with him. I don't have the energy to keep passive aggression in my heart. I don't. Okay? I'd rather get it out, come to a consensus, because it's not me versus the individual. It is me and that individual versus the problem. Let's compromise, baby. Let's communicate. Bow, 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 bow. I've been really trying, baby. Next. Question 28. Tell your partner what you like about them. Be very honest this time. Saying things that you might not say to someone you've just met. He has the best one-liners. He can make something not inherently funny absolutely hilarious just by how he says it. Unmatched wit. Question 29. Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life. Oh, my guy. When I was in elementary school, I lived in Germany. It has already been stated multiple times up to this point in my life. So when I was in elementary school, all of the doors were closed. I was in a snowsuit. Your girl had to piss. I got a sensitive bladder, baby. She was full. She had to go. She was imploring me to release said urine. So here I go, skittering about, trying to open any door that leads to the inside of the building because it was recess time, baby. Perfect timing or worst timing? Your pick, your perspective. None of the doors were opening. The bladder twitching was growing at an immense rate inside of me. And right before it burst, I looked upon the heavens above and I screamed with fervor. You know, I'm just screaming at the air, just pissing myself, just buckets. Buckets. Yeah, man, I let her go. I let her just go. My mom had to bring me a separate change of clothes. It was a good moment in my life. Definitely something that I look back fondly to. All right, next. So question 30. When did you last cry in front of another person by yourself? Dude, I think like this morning. I'm pretty in touch with my emotions. I will look to myself in an introspective manner to allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, allow myself to recognize the emotion that I'm feeling, and then letting it go. Boop. Yeah, I cried this morning. Before I put on my makeup, I was just like, all right, question 31. Tell your partner something that you like about them already. Dude, we've already gone through this. Genuine, creative, a savant, a beautiful man. Take your pick. Question 32. What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about? Abuse. That's it. I said what I said. Continuing. Bah! Question 33. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? Dude, I'm so honest that I don't really let anything sit in my heart and in my soul. I've said what I needed to say to the individuals that matter to me. Moving on. Question 34. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, okay, good, because if you were gonna ask me who I would save, it's loved ones and pets. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why? My initial response is to be like passports, but those are easily replaceable. So I have one thing from my childhood. And if anybody that grew up in like a German culture or a German household knows anything about Deedlemouses, I have one thing from my childhood, and it is a stuffed ballerina Deedlemouse. It still has a little stain on its cheek from when I was a kid. I don't have a lot of things that yield such intense sentimental value for me, but that, I would save that. That's what I would save. Question 35. Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find most disturbing and why? So whose death would I find the most disturbing? Like, is the question whose death would affect me the most? The question is whose death would affect you the most. I would say it would be my brothers. Hold on, I'm overthinking it, but I'm saying like under the logistics of if I wasn't going to be the one to die before them, I would say that my brother's death would affect me the most. Or the one that I would find the most disturbing. They're saying elaborate. My brother is a very important part of my life. I don't even need to explain that further. We're on the last question, question 36. Share a personal problem and ask your partner's advice on how he or she might handle it. Also, ask your partner to reflect back to you how you seem to be feeling about the problem you have chosen. I guess we can role play this. So considering the fact that for this scenario, I don't have a partner, I will be my own partner, which is also you. So I got a mad sweet tooth, and as much as I try and tell myself that it's something that's not necessary and that not eating sweets and that present moment is empathy for your future self, this house is teeming with sweets. As much as I try, and I try so hard to not reach for it, it stems off of my childhood, that temporary comfort. I'm aware of that, but I'm having trouble recognizing. I almost have like a moment where I black out slightly when it happens, and then after I come to my senses, I look at myself and I'm like, there are rappers everywhere. And I'm not talking about the hip hop rappers. I'm talking about them candy rappers. I try and go for like the lesser evil of things, and generally I am pretty good at sticking to it. But there are moments in life that I want some Haribo gummies, damn it. I want some fucking gummy bears all up in this ish. And I've tried to make my own. It doesn't taste the same. What do you think, girl? Partner? Damn, dude. Thank you for sharing that with me, first of all. I know it's not easy, especially when you hold yourself to such high impossible standards of perfectionism that you think that you should be perfect, but let's be honest, girlfriend. Perfectionism is an illusion. The attempt to control everything in your life will result in you enjoying nothing. So as a means of you being so hard on yourself when it comes to your sweet tooth, you are, in fact, a human being. And it seems to me that as much as you want to hold yourself to this impossible high standard, you are also aware of the fact that you are human. And that it's okay to have moments in life to appreciate the sweets. Granted, they are not the best for you, and you are aware of that. It's okay to make compromises. It's okay to make compromises, okay? If we're gonna talk about the fact that in the past you have been known to just put away bags of gummies, but now if you give yourself a slight compromise of if you are truly in your heart and mind and soul craving said sweets, compromise. Instead of binging, right? Instead of binging said sweets, have 2 or 3, right? It's an improvement from what you used to do while still allowing you to have those moments until slowly you can wean yourself off. That, and most of the time when you're craving sweets or you're hungry for a little something, you're probably dehydrated. Drink that water. Wow, that was so incredibly perceptive. And let me tell you something. You got great bazongas. Girlfriend, you're talking about my bazongas. Look at yours, dude. I mean, there's plenty of other things that I'm currently unpacking, but the whole mad sweet tooth is one of them. And it's not just any like sweets that I crave. Do you know what I mean? Like they're such specific German treats. So we did it. We finished psychologist chef's kiss Arthur Aaron's / Aaron's 36 questions that can make you fall in love with anybody. And if you're gonna ask me, Shaz, do you feel like you're more in love with yourself? Bro, I might just risk it all. And for those of you that don't like TikTok because it's just a bunch of underage girls dancing, that niche exists. But let me tell you something. The knowledge that you gain from TikTok, obviously question everything that you're being told, but the knowledge that you gain with different niches and being able to see different perspectives, that's priceless to me. For those of you that have stayed this far, thank you. Seriously. And if you gained anything out of this, cool. Let's hang out. Thank you for joining me, and I'm grateful for your existence.